Core wounds, everyone's got them, whether they know it or not. They're having a huge impact on your day-to-day life and your interactions with others. Sometimes when we're impacted by something that we're not even aware of, the impact may not be as prevalent or noticeable, but as we build our awareness of our core wounds and how they're impacting us, then we're inspired to make change. So today we're going to be continuing our journey discussing core wounds and what we can do to support ourselves in overcoming and working through them. Hello, fabulous. I hope today is treating you kindly. We're going to continue on our journey through the works of French author Lise Bourbeau, the Heal Your Wounds and Find Your True Self book. Today, we're going to be focusing on the third of 5 core wounds, humiliation. So if you've missed any of the previous videos, I'll link those down in the description below, as well as a link to this actual book so that you can review it at your leisure, and you can check out the other core wound videos that I have in this 5-part series. Also, if you haven't done so already, please take a hot minute to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so you can stay up to date on all my latest content. This is a must listen to series, and it's very helpful for your healing journey, especially as we're kind of moving through a stage in life where awareness is improving and increasing every day. We just want to make sure that as we're moving through our healing journey, that we have all the tools that we need in order to support us. So today we're talking about the core wound of humiliation. This develops between the ages of 1 to 3 years old. So right around that time that we're starting to walk, gain mastery over our physical body, and also start mastering those important self-care skills like feeding, dressing, grooming, toileting, all of those kinds of things, right? So we're in this stage where we're trying to figure out how to work this vessel that we're in, right? And while mastering these skills is a normal part of development and it takes time, everyone develops at their own pace, which is totally acceptable. And it's a normal part of development. The core wound of humiliation can manifest itself when a child feels shamed for their appearance or other aspects of their physical body. So, for example, if your little one is eating food and maybe they've got a mess all over the place, or maybe they have a toileting accident in a public place or something like that. The more public the correction or the calling out of that particular thing is, the more likely a core wound is going to develop, this humiliation core wound. So the stronger their perceived judgment or shaming or calling out, and the more people are aware of what's happened, the more likely it is, the greater the likelihood that you're going to develop this core wound of humiliation. And again, not saying that anyone is bad or terrible at parenting if this is a thing that happens. It's just a lot of folks just aren't aware. Again, we're building awareness, right? So humiliation manifests itself physically through the body as like someone maybe appearing just round, like they're just kind of more squat, more round. Their body has a tendency to hold on to more fat in more places and in greater abundance throughout the body. So they just have a kind of rounder appearance. And again, this could be, depending on the depth of the wound, it could be one portion of the body is impacted, whereas another portion isn't, or it could be the whole body that's impacted. Each individual is going to express this wound in a different way, in their own individual way, based on how it manifests and how they choose to cope with it, right? So, as with all core wounds, it's a subconscious coping mechanism to put on a mask, right? Something that protects us from having to experience a deeper version of this wound or reopen this wound, right? We don't want to be humiliated. We don't want people to think badly of us because of how we look or how our bodies function or any of that kind of thing, right? So we protect ourselves with the mask of, in this case, masochism, right? So it's the gaining or gleaning of satisfaction from suffering. So feeling justified, or maybe not even pleasure on a level of like, oh, hey, this is amazing and wonderful, but like, oh, I'm a better person because I suffer, right? It could be any of those, anything across that spectrum. But masochism is the mask for the core wound of humiliation and how we subconsciously choose to function, trying to protect ourselves from that particular injury that happened between 1 and 3 years old. So, what this can look like is accepting too much responsibility for stuff that has nothing to do with us. It could look like taking significant ownership of other people's issues or other people's responsibilities, things that are not ours to carry, but we carry them anyways. It can look like self deprecating language, saying horrible things about yourself, either out loud or in your head. Usually, a lot of it's out loud. It can look like self punishment, or self sabotage. So, like, for example, because again, a theme with this particular core wound is that you hold on to more body fat, right? So a lot of people with the core wound of humiliation tend to go on crash diets, or they'll tend to, start fitness routines, but then when it gets hard, they'll quit. And of course it's hard because changing a habit is difficult anyways. But then when we add the whole, oh, well, I have a deeper, like I already don't like myself. I already don't like some part of my physical body, right? And then we fail, whether it's an actual failure or perceived failure, it doesn't matter. If we're trying to move forward with changing our life and maybe we stumble, then we're inclined to just throw our hands in the air and give up and just go eat ice cream or whatever the thing is. And again, no judgment here. It's just important to be aware that that's kind of the pattern of behavior that we tend to see with this particular core wound. So they will self-soothe again with food. So like, for example, if I have a really hard day, I'm going to have a glass of wine, or I'm going to have a chocolate bar or 10 or whatever the thing is. Like, food is comfort for me, right? But then of course that adds to the whole body shaming. Again, it's this big cycle of I'm going to engage in behaviors that self-soothe, but that also kind of dig into this wound, this issue that I have with my body for whatever reason. And it just kind of exacerbates the whole issue, and it goes round and round and round and round. It's very damaging. So each person, again, their expression of this core wound could be different. It could be it's always going to be completely unique to them. And it could be one part or the whole body that's affected, just depending on who the individual is and how they express that core wound. So the path to healing does not involve blaming, shaming, guilting, any of that kind of stuff. You're already experiencing that. If you have the core wound of humiliation in particular, you are no stranger to being guilted or shamed or any of these kinds of other really low vibration, yucky sensations. You already experience that all the time. So you are not going to shame yourself into improvement. You can only love yourself and accept yourself into an evolution beyond where you are, right? And please don't feel like you're doing it wrong if you struggle, because everybody struggles. It doesn't matter which core wounds specifically they're trying to address or which combination of core wounds they're working with all together as a group. It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, you are moving forward through an evolution, which you're not going to get it right all the time. And that's okay. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about that. We're just going to take steps forward, right? That's all we can do is take steps forward, because we don't want to stay here where we're at, feeling yucky. So we're going to work through the core wound of humiliation by focusing our efforts on honoring the self, honoring who we are as a being right here in this moment, honoring our goals and dreams and desires for all that we wish to be and achieve and do and have, and all of that. We're going to just honor that. We're going to allow space for it to be there, because it's so important. You deserve to have all of those amazing and wonderful things, regardless of what's happened in your life that has caused this wound of humiliation to develop in the first place. So we've got, as always, our wonderful essential oil blends that are going to help us out. So I have frankincense, I have lemon, I have lime, and I have sandalwood. And I actually blended those up in a nice little tiny bottle with the lid that doesn't want to come off. Ugh. And I just blended those up. I'm going to place those right at heart center on our behalf, maybe a little bit behind the ears too, because that feels aligned. Oh, this smells nice. Ooh, I like it. lovely citrusy, and then a little bit of like a aromatic, woodsy, kind of almost like perfumey sort of fragrance with the blend of that sandalwood and frankincense. Smells so good. All right, so let's go ahead and allow the eyes to close. Let's allow the body to settle into a comfortable position, allowing ourselves to move and adjust and shift as we see fit to increase our comfort. Allow your body to be fully supported by the surface you're resting on. Allow the stomach to soften so that the breath can fill the whole capacity of your lungs. Each breath in brings new, vibrant energy, and each breath out releases anything that no longer serves. Any stagnant or old, non-serviceable energy, all of that moves out with the breath. And as always, if at any time during this experience you begin to feel overwhelmed or need to recenter your focus, just bring that attention to the center of the forehead. Just notice the texture of your skin, notice the air temperature that touches you. Just center your attention right there in the middle of the forehead, if at any time you need to refocus or recenter. Allow yourself a few moments to do a quick inventory from head to toe. Notice any areas of tension or discomfort. As feels aligned and accessible to you, you can send the breath into those areas or place the hands gently over those spots in your body. Just allowing that intention of healing and self-acceptance to flow into each area of the body, in particular that needs it. If it's the whole body, that's fine too. You can just allow that beautiful energy to fill the full portion of your body, all parts, from head to toe, expanding out into that aura, that beautiful 6-foot bubble that extends from our entire body all the way around. And now that you've taken notice of any areas of tension or discomfort, any areas within the body that particularly need your attention and love, let's shift our focus from the language that we have used in the past. Maybe things that were not kind, maybe things that didn't help you feel supported and loved. And we're going to just shift that language ever so slightly. I can begin to learn to love my body. I can begin to embrace the things that maybe I would like to change. I can allow myself the opportunity to entertain change that best serves and supports me. I can begin to embrace the idea of unconditional self-love and self-acceptance. I can honor this beautiful physical body, this vessel that I have been blessed with that allows me to traverse this earth and engage and experience and participate actively in my life and with those around me. I can begin to entertain the possibility that I already am everything that I've always wanted to be. I can begin to explore what it might look like to just love myself exactly as I am. I can begin to explore what it might be like to experience less shame and more honoring of myself. I can begin to explore what it would look like to honor myself, What foods would I consume? What activities would I engage in? Who will I spend time with? How will I spend my time? How can I honor myself? By taking on that which is for me and still allowing myself space, my beautiful, warm, loving heart to hold space for others while also holding most valuable space for myself. How can I begin to entertain what it might be like to just love myself as much as I love others with that same ease, that same passion and concern? What would that be like? What would that look like? How would I feel loving and honoring myself the same way that I love and honor others? How would it feel to exist outside of overwhelm? How might it feel to be valued in spite of not taking on responsibility for other people's issues that are not mine to solve? How might it feel to know that I am loved and honored and important and accepted and worthy, even if I choose only to carry what is mine to hold? How might that feel? Notice the sensations in your physical body as you consider these questions. Notice any emotions that come up. Notice any thoughts that float in. It may feel impossible, but all things seem as though they're insurmountable at the beginning. It's okay to be a beginner. You are just as worthy and just as loved and just as deserving of being honored within your being, whether you are an expert at change or not. This is something you're trying. This is something you are experimenting with. This is a way in which you can grow. You're not doing it wrong. The fact that you're trying is enough. The fact that you are open is enough. You are enough right now. You always have been. You always will be, no matter what. You are loved. You are worthy right now, always, and forever. As feels aligned, go ahead and place the hands of our heart center and send love to that sweet inner child that struggled. Whether you recognize or remember the event that initiated this core wound or not, it doesn't matter. Your soul knows. Your body remembers. Send that love into those places within your being right now, whatever that feels like for you. And just notice the sensation of being unconditionally loved and accepted and honored within your being. Notice how that feels. Know that you can carry this sensation with you all the time. You can return back to it whenever you need it. And you can make it grow and expand just by practicing, just by sending yourself the love that you so deserve. I'm so proud of you. I know this is challenging. I know this is new. Give yourself space to be a beginner. Give yourself space to move forward, maybe not knowing. Maybe you don't know what the next step is, and that's okay. Just allow space for the possibility that the next step, and then the next, and then the next, will be made clear. All you need to do is move forward. How do I best honor myself? Only you can know. Allow yourself a few deep, slow breaths. Allow the lower portion of the lungs to fill, swelling the abdomen with air, And as you breathe out, release all of that old stagnant energy. Release all of that damaging language that maybe you were told when you were young, maybe that you adopted because you thought you had to. Let that go. That's not your voice. You would never say such cruel things to yourself. Those words are not yours. They do not define you. You are a powerful, amazing being. You are worthy and deserving of all things, especially and including kindness and love. Honor yourself always by remembering to be kind and to show yourself love. Begin to bring some gentle movement into the body. Stretch or move as you see fit. And when you are ready, you can open your eyes and return to this space and this time. Hello, fabulous. Again, I hope that that was super helpful for you. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to like, subscribe, and ring that notification bell so that you can continue your journey through the core wound series that we're working through. Also, sharing is caring. If this was helpful to you, please share it with someone that you know, someone that you love. We definitely want to share the healing, share the benefits of this amazing experience with anyone and everyone, because we all rise together. High tides raise all ships. And as we heal ourselves, we promote and encourage healing within others, which for many of us watching is definitely a goal that we all have, because we all love and support various people in our lives. And we definitely want to continue to support whatever is highest and best good for ourselves and for others. Also, hit me up in the comments. Let me know how this series is impacting you. Let me know the value of these experiences so that I know how best to continue serving and supporting you. Thank you again with glitter on it for hanging out with me today, and I hope that you have a sparkly rest of your day.